Welcome mortals to my Halloween video, and to my American viewers, I hope you went out and got all the best candy out there. For my European ones, I know the scariest thing you'll see tonight is your grandma going a little too loose on the drinks. So let me bring you some scares instead, and why not do it in our favorite little block game, Minecraft. And no, I'm not talking about those horror mods out there, those are lame. Let's just talk about the scary things already in Minecraft. The myths, the legends surrounding the game, even an SCP article, and how the base game can be scary under the right circumstances. And ranking them in the scariest video format I can think of. A tier list. So let's go. Herobrine. Starting all the way back in 2010, Herobrine was, and to an extent still is, the most talked about creepypasta surrounding the game as a whole, with this infamous image being posted on the V-board and burned into my eyes, with a scary man looking at you with its clear white eyes and malicious intent. But more recently, the stream of Herobrine's appearance in a single player game was uncovered not that long ago to an incredible amount of media coverage. This one appearance sparked a lot of talking, scaring, and mod making, to the point that we had and have dozens of mods that let Herobrine into your Minecraft world. Even Mojang wasn't completely blind to him, as Notch first said he had a brother and then later denied that Herobrine was the ghost of his long dead brother because he didn't have one. Later Jeb would state that it's a quote mystery never to be solved. But for the absolute scare factor of knowing it might be out there, it might be haunting you, this is going into S tier. And no, stating you removed Herobrine doesn't help you either. He's still in your walls. Cavesound.mp3. Next up, the dreaded cave sound. Hearing this weird ass noise at 2 AM on a school night, knowing your mom might come in at any second if she knows that you're still up, is a surefire way to make every little Timmy shit bricks. And on its own, it would be a C tier for me, but the far more scarier thing is that it's actually programmed with an entire algorithm in mind, called the mood algorithm. It works by increasing the moodiness when you are underground or in any other dark places. This video of SOCKALOUPE, which I got permission from him to show, explains it in more detail.
Every in-game tick, or 20 real-time seconds, the game selects a random block within a 17 by 17 by 17 cubic block area the player is at the center of. The randomly selected block's block light level and skylight level will either raise or lower the game's overall mood algorithm percentage. This mood percentage, once it reaches 100%, triggers cave ambience. When it is nighttime, the block light level of most all blocks becomes 0. That is, unless there's a light source nearby. So, while rarer due to there being potentially more transparent blocks as well as natural light sources around the player, it is possible for a cave sound to be triggered even when you're on the surface.
As said, this video goes in a lot more detail, so if you want to have the full explanation, I'll link it down below. But with that all out of the way, it goes straight into B tier. Terrifying shit. The Warden. If you dare to venture down enough, you might cross his path. You might awaken the demon of the deep, the dreaded Warden. Nowadays, we all pack hose down to the deep to make sure that we don't get surprised by shriekers. I mean, I'm already packing hose, you know what I mean? But these shriekers can call in their big daddy to come crawling out of the goddamn floor, and to this day, I think this is still Mojang's best animation work, as a giant 10-foot blind monster starts crawling out of the floor to come and give you the world's hardest beatdown. Back in the day when this creature was released to us, it was one hell of a scare. I still remember the first time I was faced with the Warden and absolutely just screaming at my friend that he was an asshole for leaving me alone. However, nowadays it's kinda easily defeated by just sneaking under him and hitting him until he dies. So, for the scare factor of the original design, an A tier for me. This is a secret scare. Not using code Pebble when buying your server at GG Servers for 25% off? Straight up S tier. The horror of losing all that money for a server you in all likelihood will only use one time is insane. Anyways, SCP-4335. Believe it or not, there is actually an SCP article on an entity in Minecraft, which in their universe, in my opinion, explains Herobrine. If you don't know what SCP is, it's a kind of collaborative writing effort where people post all sort of creepypastas and have it be written in some sort of a lab report with actual testimonies, actual tests being done. And according to that wiki, SCP-4335 is a creature resembling a normal player model with a full black skin that continuously eats blocks it is in contact with to grow. Once it has reached a certain size, it will teleport onto another server or single player world and start the process again. In that case, it can cause you to hallucinate if you observed it, and it is able to speak to you as shown in this conversation it had with a researcher. While still being in game, there is no voice chat. It's telekinetically talking to you. Where the creature is seen asking the researcher if it's in, quote, the right place, meaning Earth, as this creature is from another universe, one where there's no life, only blackness. So it teleported itself to our universe and wanted to, quote, suck the Earth dry, destroying it and destroy humanity. That's pretty scary, right? In my opinion, it's pretty funny that Minecraft is this big that a SCP article is kind of mocking it, but as a creepypasta, it's pretty good. Although the fact that it's kind of edgy and the fact that you can just contain it by putting it in this box and feeding it ender pearls makes me giggle. So it's a B tier for me. Discs. Currently, there are 19 discs in the game that you can play in the jukebox. But if you had a jokester in your group, you might have heard this one play. This scary bugger no doubt hounded many of your nights as you found it in the cave, expected some nice music, only to be met with the absolute biggest scare of your life and your parrot going absolutely ham on it. But for a long time there was only one disc that was scarier. Disc 11, featuring basically an audiobook of somebody running away from what seems to be an eldritch horror. No, seriously, take a listen to this disc, and it almost feels like you're listening to a horror movie. But ever since the Caves and Cliffs update, there is a new disc that is actually crowned king now. See, while 13 is a B and 11 is A, disc 5 is an absolute S tier scare. Here, allow me to play a snippet from the disc. Yeah, that will make anyone shit their pants. Now, I could go all MatPat and explain exactly what I think about it, but the cooler part about Minecraft is that you can come up with your own interpretation. Including its horror, it's an S tier. Mobs. I didn't want to make this video 16 hours long, so I'm just gonna clump these together. The skeleton, spider, and creeper are not really scary in their own part, but where they shine is the moment-to-moment horror. You don't get scared because of their looks, you get scared because God Almighty decided to calling a tactical creeper strike on your ass. I swear I've screamed more in horror of some random spider not wanting to die, clutching my asshole so tight I was glued to the chair, than any other horror game I've ever played. These are all just tier C horror creatures with exception for the Enderman, which is obviously, and as it is, a reference to the Slenderman creepypasta. This thing doesn't screw around. As you all know, just looking at it will reveal that the Enderman is just a shy guy in disguise and will come over to rip you into shreds. In Minecraft, of course. Wow, 2 SCP references in one video, huh? In either case, the sound that it plays when it teleports out of sight to continuously hunt you down until the end of your days is straight up nightmare fuel. S tier material. Existential dread. A lot of games create an environment of you being entirely alone in an already lived-in world. In Minecraft, a great example is the structures already in the world. I mean, who created these structures that just generated the world? There shouldn't be anything in it. While villagers and pillagers towers can be explained away as these are just trying to survive, these are actually people in there. The abandoned mineshafts and strongholds, they're not easily explained. Why is there a random stone brick structure here? I didn't build this. Who did? It's This subtle hint of this world was not yours, it is still not yours, gives a small scare factor for some people. Personally, I don't really feel this. The only game that ever had me feeling that way was Project Zomboid, but that's a subject for another video. For now, the loneliness in Minecraft gets a D tier, as you can easily just fix this by playing multiplayer. The Creakler. Crackler? The Crackhead. When I first saw this mob, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't too impressed. Yes, it was creepy looking, and yes, the actual design was pretty cool, it's nothing special. Walking trees, whatever. I've been surrounded by walking trees forever. Like, you have Lord of the Rings with the walking trees, even Warhammer Age of Sigmar has walking trees. But then I actually encountered one. The eerie silence, the whitewashed color palette around you at night will make you feel even alone, more vulnerable. And then when you are not looking, you just walk past a certain tree. You are bum rushed by a malformed Enderman. So you turn around and there he is, looking at you. Waiting for you to turn back around so it can strike you once more. For you went this close to its heart, it's still beating hard in a nearby tree. Now that is straight up Nightmare Diesel, and holy shit, this is as creative as Mojang has been in years. Especially as this creature can't take any damage at all until you destroy the heart in the tree. And what's better, you can just straight up take that heart and put it in your friend's base during Nightmare. Put some pale logs around it and it will spawn there in the middle of the night, scaring the living shit out of them. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of a little fun experimental video. I thought it would be fun just having a little look-see into what I find scary about Minecraft. I mean, it's not always about the technical aspect, right? As always, many entries in this list come from the community post and Discord poll I made and are entirely subjective. So if you have a better tier list, go ahead, post it in the Discord. I could be totally wrong. Either way, I was Lunar. You are very awesome. And thank you for still being here. Alright, I want to thank my lovely Pebbles and Patreon supporters who literally the other day saved my ass. You know, like I was going out for dinner and I had to I think I came like $10 short, and then my Patreon supporters saved my ass. Literally. Like having a vacation in Belgium is non-paid if you're a blue collar worker like I am. So these people, you people who support me monthly through either YouTube or Patreon, literally keep me going and keep these videos coming out. I know there's been a long break, but now I'm back and videos should be returning. That's the third time I said it, but this time I mean it. Anyway, thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bonus round. The community, now that's the biggest scare in all of Minecraft. S tier, straight up.